I shouldn't be in the chat.
No, no, you can
Wait,
be in the chat. Join us. So we was going to invite people in to chat with us. So
yeah, but I have to go to bed soon, so well, I'll listen to it from the chat
oh,
and see if you have some audio.
yeah, yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
should now. I've just re-established. I've had to undo the old audio channels and restart the new ones. So
I shouldn't be in the chat. Yeah, I
no, no,
find
you can
that
be in the chat. Join
Streamlabs
us. So
often you have
we
to
was going to.
when I turn my Streamlabs on, my microphone doesn't work, so I have to delete it and add it again before it works. So it may be something similar that
Yeah,
you have.
we're live now. I think we're being recorded. So
Yeah, perfect. I'll go in and check. So yeah, good stream, guys.
all
Bear
right,
in mind,
cheers,
we're
buddy.
live now, you know.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, hello to the people that are live then. Well, good luck to you too, at least.
Yeah.
Well, you're always saving our bacon when it comes to this. So.
Yeah, mum.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm just the armchair guy. I'm just like, God, JP, this is rubbish, man. You need to sort yourself out. And it's my fault anyway.
There we go. At least that's fixed
I
now.
just
At
sit
least
back.
we're.
I'm just like, I'm just, yeah.
Well,
I'm just the
good
armchair guy.
streams to you
Just,
too.
like, sit
I'm
in the
gonna
background
be.
and let you do it all and be like, for God's sake, JP.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck to you.
Yeah, no worries, geez.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much. Catch you in a bit. Enjoy till you go to bed, man.
Yeah, I will.
See you later, buddy.
So for everyone listening, if you can,
Oh.
just share the link to the new live and help us get this re-established, because it's a absolute technical ball ache trying to do lives. Every time I think I've got it going, every time I think it's right, it never is. And we
Yeah,
were
but I
having
just
such
put
a
it down to
fantastic
being
conversation
incompetent,
about
to be fair.
ants as well.
Yeah,
You-
you say
you-
that now they can't hear it.
You told everyone about your episode that's going to be airing this weekend. I told everyone about what I've been up to, and no one heard a thing we said. So I suppose we should really take this back to the beginning of where it should have been.
Yes, this is true, and start again, I guess. But yeah, whatevs. All I'm going to say on that one is whatevs. I hate technology. I reckon we should go back to crayons.
No, I say me and technology have a love-hate relationship. I love it and it hates me. I'm on the abusive end of this technological relationship, for sure.
Well, I hate you as well, so we kind of get on well then, don't we? Oh, he said it, didn't he? Oh, this is why nobody likes me, because I'm just a meanie.
Jerry's a firing grenades again, sir. Lob 'em back, son.
I'm just an idiot. I live with that.
Nah,
But,
it's not true. Put
Yeah,
yourself
what I
down
was
too
saying,
much.
what I was saying to JB before, guys, was I was talking about my noders because my video coming out this weekend. Excuse me. This weekend is about my noders, and when I was filming with a macro lens into the new nest that I've connected up, I got a glimpse of some wings. Now I had suspicions I had males anyway, because I've seen a dead one, but I just thought it might have been a fluke or one-off. But then I've seen a male, and I'm really pleased because that's. No, I'm not drinking. I'm not, honestly. I've got Coca-Cola. Does that count? I was going to say Coke then, but you're probably all going to think I'm a druggie when that's not the case. No, and I got to see the male and actually seen, and you'll see footage of the male. It is really cool. Really cool. Hey, what? I think I've got a reputation for being an alkie. I'm not, by the way. I am. If I am, I'm definitely a functioning alcoholic because I do go work and everything.
It's called squaddy.
Yeah. I can't help it. But yeah, so that's what my news about my noders were and stuff like that. And I also talked about trying to clean them out, which is just a nightmare because I've got them currently. One of the outworlds is the Ant Boy cylinder nests. Now, it's quite a small nest anyway. Yeah, I'm not on coke, swearsies. It's quite a small nest anyway, but they use it for their trash. And what I've noticed is that the noders have a really short life expectancy. So what is happening is that it's only been 2 weeks and I've got a massive pile of dead already. And I do talk about that, and I talk about in my video tomorrow what ramifications this short life expectancy has, and why I think a lot of people struggle when they first arrive and you get the customary die off. Because when I got mine, I didn't get them brand new, as it were, because I didn't get just the queens. I got queens with, I think it was about 150 workers. I got it from Ants HQ, I think it was. I did try and get it from the ant lady, but she didn't get them in time before Ants HQ did, so I got them from there. But anyway, I had a population crash. I lost about half of my workers, but because the queen settled down and started producing eggs, then they picked up again, and now they're probably about 2,000 strong now, I reckon. But you will get to see all the cool footage in the video as well. Hopefully will release tomorrow once I've finished editing it. But yeah, I'll shut up because I talk too much.
That's not true. That's what this is about. It's a chat show.
Yeah.
So we need to be talking. And I was simply telling everyone about how I've been progressing with the Lazius Noir experiment. Just getting down the finer details and doing more research, which I published up on my blog page. And I was also saying how I've completed the first free course from the Open University. So I have my little certificate for that, which doesn't mean a great deal. It's only, a 5-hour participation certificate, but it's the first step to the chain of evidence to be able to try and find the opportunities to be able to change careers, and that will allow me to be so much more open about the hobby and hopefully a lot more involved and able to put myself in front of the camera rather than hiding behind it. So that
Jesus
should be
Christ,
quite
don't
interesting.
do that, mate. I've seen a picture of you, mate. Don't do that. Jesus.
Well, I want everyone else's computers to suffer as much as mine when my face appears on it.
Yeah, well, that's really cool, by the way.
Yeah, it's quite exciting, man. I know I'm already hitting like loads of brick walls. I've been applying to local wildlife trusts, and a couple of them gave a little bit staunch replies to me, as in keep dreaming, which I will, and I'll keep working towards it. And then one day I'll turn around to them and say, well, my dream came true, so it wasn't with you, but someone else gave me that opportunity. And that's what it's about in life. No matter how much you get knocked back, never give up. If it's something you're passionate about and it's something that you're genuinely want to do, then don't ever stop. Just work as hard as you possibly can.
No, you are right, and definitely right. I smell that. Alex has just put a little post up. Have a quick read. Not post, a little comment. So. Yeah, that's what I was laughing at.
Well, thank you very much for the shout out. It's certainly your work that inspired me, Mr. Holifer. So, without your experiment and sort of looking at the results that you had from your experiment and reading up on pleiometrosis and exactly how Lazius found, that's how I got into starting my own experiment. And I'm also going to steal your other idea and see if I can separate 3 queens and whether the workers will form a cooperative colony. So, moving on your other experiment as well.
Yeah, and I've got my experiment that I'm going to take forward, but I'm not going to do that until next year anyway, I think. Just because you and Holifer have got your shizness going down.
No, but I mean, personally, my experiment, I think, will fall perfectly in line with your experiment when I come to hibernating those colonies.
Yeah,
we could literally cross-platform the experiments and then widen sort of the data and the results. So I personally think it's the best opportunity to use it. I think you should explain about your experiment, because you came up with it like a year ago now, wasn't it?
No, it was. I think it was earlier this season. In fact, it was still winter actually. I think it was that debate, as always, rages on Facebook. Do you hibernate? Do you not hibernate? So I came up inspired by Alex again, because he's a geek anyway, with his experiment. Geek. What I've already explained it to Alex anyway, because I want him to get on board with it, as well. Everybody to get on board with it. But what I want to do is get a load of Lagus Niger queens, and I want to collect them around the same time, and I want to put half of them in hibernation and half of them out of hibernation. Then I want to see, it's going to be a long-term experiment, then I want to see how they do, compare it after 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, with one constantly being hibernated and one not, and see if there is a dramatic change in life expectancy, if the population growth is the same, or is it a dramatic difference. But I don't just want to limit that to me. I want to get all of my YouTubers and all of the community involved, because I want them to collect ants as well. I want them to do the exact same experiment and also report their findings and stuff on the Facebook group. I've already made it, but I've just not done anything with it, because when I first came up with the idea, I just sat with it because I haven't had the time. So yes, I want to get the community involved. So it won't just be my results and this is what I've done. It will be, these are my results, this is what I've done, but then check out all these other people that collected queens and done the exact same experiment as me. So then you actually get a more accurate findings, because I'm not just basing it on, let's say, 8 queens that I collect. It'll be based on the hundreds of queens that all you people out there have collected, and all you people have, because I'm assuming you guys are here, we listen to us, you'll probably get involved as well. We'll get involved, record your findings. It doesn't matter if you're in the UK, if you're in other parts of Europe, as long as it's the same queen, under the same conditions, fed the same stuff, and all that malarkey, you'll be able to get a correlation if there is a difference. And I think that would be an awesome experiment, to be fair. But like I said, it's something that I've got plans to, but I've not really actioned it yet.
Well, I think I'm going to bully you into doing it, to be honest, because I think when I'm collecting my ants, possibly this September, unless they fly earlier. The last flights in Hertfordshire last year were definitely in late September.
Yeah.
So this year when I'm collecting them, I say start your experiment then. You know, I can easily run that experiment alongside the experiment that I'm running, because, you know, everything that I'm doing is going to be, you know, the diet's going to be measured. It's going to be strict. I'm basing it on the 1969 experiment, which kept Elasius Niger Queen alive for 28 and a half years. So obviously they had the diet down to a perfection, really. So I'm following that kind of diet, which is sort of liquidated mealworms and sugars fed in a, you know, it's a certain amount of meal to the colony size. So as the colony grows, you just up the amount of meal that you're giving the food. So
yeah, that's cool, but that wouldn't really be relevant for my experiment, because the only requirement is they're both fed the same stuff. So for example, if you're going to feed one, obviously when they're hibernating you can't, so bit of logic, but if you're going to feed one a cockroach, you feed the other one a cockroach as well, because obviously if they do grow at different rates, one's going to require the whole cockroach, one will require half the cockroach. But as long as it's the same food stuff that they're getting, then the experiment should still be valid. But obviously you can't feed one mealworms and one cockroaches, for example, or one those Gucci sugary treats you get off websites, and then one honey water. It'll have to be the same food for all of it to make it a valid experiment.
well, that's what mine will be. Mine will be the same mix the whole way through. And of course, those colonies are going to be hibernated, because the experiment for them is to see how pleiometrosis benefits them beyond, because the experiments that I've seen, they only watch the ants until hibernation, whereas this one will go beyond hibernation. The experiments planned to be sort of, you know, 6 months longer than any previous experiment that I've looked at, sort of for data recording. So it's going to be quite a positive one, and I can use them hibernating to compare to the colonies that I don't hibernate for your experiment. So all I have to do is collect a few extra colonies, and sort of I can run your experiment idea alongside my experiment, and then that way we can correlate all of the data, because, you know, I'll already be recording the data for them hibernating, the temperatures per day, any losses after hibernation, you know. So it'll be a great way to combine it. And it's not stealing ideas, everyone. It's not stealing ideas. We all use the ideas to grow. We all use it to bring the community something more. And everything starts off as a seed in life. I mean, you know, it starts off as a small idea and grows upon that. You know, people have done experiments back in the day, and you just say, I'm stealing. All right, I'm stealing the ideas, but I'm also improving upon them. So there's a difference.
Yeah, definitely. But saying that though, but this is what we're like. Me and JB a lot. We do talk a lot, and we do bounce ideas off a lot of each other. And speculation about ants, we do a lot as well. And obviously, when we do our ant casts, which unfortunately, because of commitments in the real world for Jake, he's not been able to attend it, and we've not really got around to doing the 4th episode yet. Hopefully soon, but I don't.
Well, there's been various stuff with that. Obviously, it's the former cast episode, because we promised episode 4 to former cast, so it's matching up the time differences as well for everyone, and it it's been a bit difficult lately, but I know Jake has been doing his exams at uni, which I've heard have been stopped until next year. So, congratulations, Jake. Fingers crossed, and hope you smash it, man.
Hey, well, Alex, he's a nerd. JB's the nerd, not me. All right, I'm awesome. He's a nerd.
I'm an awesome nerd. That's what I am. And Gooseberry, I'm still playing around with the nests that I'm creating, and hopefully I'll be able to show the results of that soon. But I've definitely been playing around with different kind of mixes. Some of the mixes I've made have been too brittle and have crumbled, and then some of them have been like solid, like concrete, and just they won't give enough humidity or create the correct environment for the ants. So I'm definitely sort of like playing around with that. And no one, well, I got my Formica experiment, but you're kind of joining me on that one too. So that'll be fun to run. So it's not just me stealing those experiments. Mine experiments are being stolen too.
No, you just wrote me to take part. I'm not stealing it.
Well, you got in there first, so you do have the Formica sanguinea colony, which is a very beautiful colony, I must say.
Did you watch my video on them as well?
And we've also got a very, very secret Formica experiment coming up, but I'm not gonna spoil any details of that. But it is quite exciting. That is going to be quite exciting. So
I reckon so.
You know, we definitely, we're working together to create content that's gonna benefit the entire the entire community with sort of the results that we're all going to gather. And that's one of the great things, you know, you can only gather so much data on your own, you know. So when you're sharing these ideas and you're all working on them and you're all growing from them, you know, and you're taking into consideration the data that someone else has collected, you know, to form your own experiments or to gather your own data, you're only taking it forward, you know. So the results of that are going to help people understand more and more as we go along. So, you know, I am really excited to see the end of the experiments, all the results that have been gathered and sort of what information that gives. You know, I still have no idea which process is going to be more beneficial to the ants, whether it is forming co-founding through pleiometrosis or whether it is through single founding. And, you know, it'll be exciting to sort of definitely have a solid concrete proof on those results rather than just hearsay, which is what you get a lot of the time in the community. And if we don't challenge that hearsay, then the truth is you'll never know. It would just be a rumor that you hear in communities, whether it's good or bad, and everyone will remain divided on the subject.
Well, a classic example there would be hibernation of the Messer barbarus.
Yes,
because that's quite up for a hot debate as well, to be honest, isn't it? So
yeah, I mean that one, I think in a way nature proves it, because, you know, in hotter parts of North Africa they don't hibernate, and in cooler climates in Europe, in southern Europe, they do hibernate. So clearly they only hibernate because it's a necessity, not because it's a biological requirement. Whereas some species, like I've learnt with Myrmica rubra, it is a biological requirement because they have a special type of brood that develops called overwinter brood, and that only happens through hibernation. And part of that process is how the colony matures. So if they never have that overwinter brood, they will rarely ever make reproductives. So the colony itself will never mature and can fizzle out, which is, you know, quite interesting to sort of learn and read about, and that's already been sort of studied upon. So
what was that question Sty just popped up there on the gram? Not on the gram, sorry, on the does keeping ants influence you in a bad or good way? I don't see how it would influence you in a bad way at all, to be honest, because I think it's brought a better side of me out. I would never have ever thought of starting a YouTube channel if it wasn't for my ants, and I would never have met the awesome community such as yourself, JB. Ant Holifer I would never have met, and he's a decent dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say that keeping ants has brought major benefits to my life. You know, yeah, absolute definitely. Huge benefits, and it's really, really, you know, given me the opportunity to meet some amazing people and, would my life be going in the direction that I'm trying to take it in now if I hadn't got back into ant keeping? No, I would still be working, in the direction that I was going in, and that would probably be me for the rest of my life. So, it definitely has brought a massive impact to my life, and I'm excited to see where that can go.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's definitely beneficial myself. Do you know what? I've actually met some really genuinely nice people as well, such as yourself. We would never have met or anything like that if it wasn't for this. And I get on with you fairly well. I talk to you quite a lot.
Well, unless I do manage to get back into the mob, you never know. See what happens.
Yeah, especially if you join my lot, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Because I've been aiming at the initially going forward. My plan has always been to train up to get my paramedic qualifications. So I've already got my FREC level 3. I'm working towards my FREC level 4, which is emergency, medical care. I've done my medic in remote areas, and courses like that. So I always plan to kind of go in that direction. And I was looking at sort of the Hertfordshire Reserves because they have the Royal Army Medical Corps here. And I thought that would tie in quite nicely, especially because they would then give me the qualifications instead of me finding 25 grand to pay for the qualifications. So.
But you're going in a different direction now anyway. So
yes.
Your ant side of life.
Definitely.
I'll tell you what though, your experiment would probably do really, really good if you take notes and stuff, and you can use the data you find to write a dissertation on it.
Well, you'll probably never ever get a dissertation out of me. I'm dyslexic. I've never taken, genuinely in life, I've never taken the mainstream routes. So this is why I say to you guys, if you're going through school or you're going through college and you're struggling because you're not academic, you're struggling because possibly you're dyslexic, there's always other routes. Like, there really are. Like, genuinely, most of the time, what they're really interested in is you proving your dedication. And certainly dyslexia, it might disadvantage you, but it has nothing to do with how intelligent you are as a person. So if you use your intelligence, if you use your drive, if you find that passion, don't give up, because there's always routes. I mean, look at me now, to be able to prove to a university that I could be given the chance to do an ecology course. I'm doing all these small free courses because I need to be able to prove my dedication. I can't just turn up to a university and go, well, I've been working this for 8 years and now I'm going to try and study to be, an ecologist. So they would just be like, sod off. You've got no proof that this is what you're going to do, and your previous work has nothing to do with it. So, you have to look at the ways that you can prove to them. And, it's amazing that platforms like the Open University actually offer these free courses, because it's free knowledge for you to just click into, read through it, and a lot of it isn't hard. So they start from the very basics. So there's introduction courses which are written in a way that you don't have to know anything about the subject. It explains every little thing, every little word. It teaches you how to build a scientific glossary. A lot of sort of the free courses that I've been looking at are also helping to influence how I'm gonna develop and produce the experiment I'm doing for Lazius Noir, because it's putting scientific stuff into my mind about how you run those kind of experiments and what kind of data that you do collect. And a couple of things I necessarily wasn't looking at, like recently reading that ResearchGate paper that I put up in the blog post. I never thought about measuring the size of the queens, and that was something that they said actually affects the outcome of pleomatosis. So now I'm going to try and measure the queens that I'm using in the experiment.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Get them to sit still on a ruler.
Yeah. Well, I was going to put a ruler underneath and see if I can measure them that way.
Oh, I'll just be facetious, mate.
And
my former Carufa Barbis are running around everywhere.
Just to say to Alex, I'm not working with Wakushi on the experiment, but he is certainly supporting the experiment. There is an experiment with Sid involved. That's the ultimate top secret Formica experiment that we're going to be doing. So that will be interesting to reveal. I'll just keep dropping the it's ultra secret and you're never going to find out anything until it's here. But yeah. So there is that one. But no, certainly you know, he offered his support. He's been actually sort of a really really good guy to speak to. You know, he's so enthusiastic about, you know, experimenting and sort of helping us to create that content. He's certainly been a big help. In fact, you know, most of the retailers have been absolutely amazing with the support that they've shown. So
I just think we only started talking to him because I slated his Venus nest.
well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, it kind of shows how this community can develop. I mean, it is one of the most fantastic things about it, really. And you know, that situation was you know, kind of perfect to create what's happened now. I mean, without that, would we have ever been speaking to Sid? I don't know. I mean, maybe eventually in the future, but you know, I'm certainly glad that situation happened, and it was fantastic to bring him in and get to talk to him about everything, and sort of like, you know, make sure that people knew that, you know, Sid was involved rather than speaking for him. I thought that was great, because it was really nice for once to, instead of just hearing the rumors that float about in communities, it's really nice to have the retailers involved and for people to get to know the retailers themselves. Personally, I think that's a massive thing, because this is the community that they work for. And kind of like the whole thing with Ants Canada as well. Like, I always think it's such a shame that he's not involved in the community. And when it comes to...
It's because we're below him, mate.
No, but I mean, when it comes to retailers and stuff like that as well, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, yes, they're part of the community because they provide a service to the community, but often people don't know them or know their thought processes, and you know, people make up a load of stuff, or people have a bad experience, and then, you know, they relay that, and then that becomes all that anyone ever hears about. And you know, no one actually hears how cool these people are, and you know, how hard they are working for the community and stuff like that. So I think it's fantastic to get retailers involved and for people to actually get to know the retailers, because I think not only is it a massive benefit for them, it's a massive benefit for the community as well, and for obviously people like us content creators, because it creates a bridge that we didn't have before.
Yes, it has, to be fair. It really has. We've got Ants Britannia. It's good to hear from you, dude. Big wave to you, matey.
Yeah, man, I've always loved this channel, man. Great content.
Yeah. We need to get him on our podcast at some point.
Well,
whenever we start doing another channel.
We have an absolute lineup of a traffic jam to get onto the Antcast, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
And we have side projects as well planned. And what side projects will be is perhaps, you know, myself and Ants Hood will do a little project, or you know, Alex, or you know, anyone can sort of do a community project. That's what we're aiming for the Antcast to be, is like a community project, and we can put stuff up and share that. I mean, this live stream was supposed to be on the Antcast channel, but I'm having a bit of grief with Streamlabs, and I'll definitely have that set up beforehand. But I was a bit late running into the stream thanks to work.
I've heard that before, mate. I've heard that before.
It's a work in progress. I tell you what, sir, when you have Streamlabs on your computer and you're setting it up, I'll have a poke at you.
You just stuck it on my toes, ain't you? And I've got nothing to answer to it as well, because I'm generally not gonna do it.
It's all right. I've passed back the grenade. Just have a look. The pin's missing.
Yeah. Oh no, hot potato chap. No, but you know, on a serious note, though, I appreciate the efforts you're going to, but I just suck at this stuff, so I don't even bother.
Oh well, I'm just as sucky. I'm just as much as a caveman that's disappeared from the 21st century.
Changing the subject just because I'm just put some honey water into my noders. Have you seen the video I put up on my Instagram of my noders nest? Not noders. What am I talking about? Shut up, Hood. I'm on about my Nicobrensis. I think they're on the turnaround. I think I've got brood developing, and I've actually got pupae for the first time, proper amount of pupae for the first time in ages. I'm hoping that they're on the turn, as it were. I'm not saying turning to zombies. I mean turning around and start.
Where are we with the theory of what's happened? Because I know at the moment there's kind of a few theories, and obviously I've had some crashes with my colony. Other people that I've spoken to have had crashes. There's a theory that at the moment, when they don't have enough space they will just kind of cull off and let their workers die in
Who
big
said that?
batches, or
Was that Sid? It was when I got pissed up on bloody whiskey again and was talking late at night. I know it's a regular occurrence.
it
guys,
might
I'm
have
not an
been Sid,
alcoholic.
but I don't think it's just been said by one person. A few
He asked
people
the
that I've
question
spoken
on
to have
stream.
that same kind of ethos. And then also there's when they're having their nuptial flights, they retain their royals for quite a while, and when they do, obviously they take huge resources away from the colony, because they're prioritizing their next generation, which is what that is. That's the the next carry on for the species, as they say. So they prioritize that rather than the next generation that's going to be living within the colony. So all the resources go to that, and that can cause large amounts of workers to die off, because they're not getting the same care as they would. They're not caring for the brood. They're too busy caring for the virgin
I
queens
get
and
that.
drones.
I think
So
it might be a mixture of both, because I think it was Sid that said that. Because I was thinking about it that day, funny enough, about the crash, because I know that you had a crash with yours, and they weren't doing too well. Now they've boomed, and I know somebody else had a crash, and Sid said he had a crash, and obviously I'm going through my absolute car crash. I've lost 2/3 of my colony. I've gone from about 3,000 to about 1,000 now. So I've had a hemorrhage of workers and stuff like that. And I think it kind of rings home that when they don't have enough space to expand, then they might start reducing the numbers. I think was basically what Sid was saying. And I think there might be some merit to it. And taking into side what you're saying about the elites, because I got the elites around the same time, it kind of like it could be a possibility. But like I said, I think that it's something that needs looking at, and I'm going to see how much they bounce back and all that malarkeys as well, and see how they get on. Because I've cleaned the dead out. I had a massive pile of dead, and I have not got much more in the graveyard at the moment. So fingers crossed the die-off site will slow down. Do you want to invite Ants Britannia then, matey?
I am just in the process of trying to figure out how.
I think.
I think we need to be friends first, and I'm not sure we
friends.
are.
You want to be my
Yeah.
friend? Well, you have to search him. Yeah, so I think that might be. I think it might be a mixture of both, because
Here we
both
go.
have merit. Both what you and both what Sid said. So do you know what I mean? It's I don't know. It's an interesting one. I think. I think they'll do doing so well. They grew so quickly. Then boom, they just died. Interesting point, but we'll have to wait and see. To be honest, to see how they get on. But I think hopefully they're on the turn.
I mean,
Hopefully
my ethos on the ant keeping is always, as long as the queen's alive, and as long as there's a chance. Do you know what I mean? Like the amount of workers that die, they are always going to, they live shorter lives.
Yeah.
They work harder. They go through a lot more grief than anyone else in the colony. So you're always going to have, sadly, workers passing away. But it's always the queen that is the most vital within the colony, and sort of, as long as
Yeah.
they're alive and there's a chance, then it's certainly worth trying and carrying on with them.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, I'm not. I mean, they're one of my favourite colonies. I'm not going to give up on them. I will not give up. I will not surrender. I will fight through. But then
Right.
again, I've got so many colonies. I've not actually featured a video on my Nigers at the moment either, and they were quite popular videos of mine. But I've not really done any videos on. I've got so many colonies now. I've got about 27 colonies, and if they all get big, I am stuck for space. I'm gonna have to kick the wife out.
Yeah.
He's in the channel. Yeah, definitely have to kick the wife out. I don't think she'll mind, to be fair. Do you want to add him to the Antcast recording thing, Jiggy?
I just did. Did I not? Thought I did.
I don't know.
Permission.
No. Oh, crumbs. Yes, there he is. Why did I put that video? Oh, mate, I was absolutely drunk that night because I'm looking at the photos that I put on the videos and I don't remember doing it. Oh well. Don't drink too much, people, and end up like me. Fat and overweight. But it's going to be cool, guys, because Aunt Britannia's going to come and join us, which is nice.
As soon as
The thing about when myself and Colonialists do these kind of videos. We're doing it because we're just chatting. There's no format. There's no like, right, this is what we're going to do. It literally is just us talking rubbish and making up as we go along. Because that's how I best operate, to be fair. I never really like to pre-plan. I don't even pre-plan my videos. I just go for it. And then just start talking on my videos.
I mean, a lot of mine is, you know, unless I'm specifically doing something that's based on research. I try to script my videos, but I'm better just talking them out, and then if I don't like the way it sounds, I'll just scrap it and re-record.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I don't form. I just talk, and then just move on. I think that's why. My videos aren't very like, well, what's the word I'm looking for here? Well, formatted, because I'm just talking throughout. I like to think I take the approach that I'm talking to like a mates in a pub or something, where they're just talking about something we love, and I think that's the kind of way that I approach it.
You should have permissions to jump in and join us now, from what I can tell. Ants Britannia.
Come in, come join us. So yeah, so if you guys want to ask questions, or if you guys, you know, want to join in or anything, just let us know, and if we've got the space, we'll let you in. You can chat for a bit, as long as it doesn't, obviously one at a time, because I don't want to turn it into a mass brawl of peeps joining in and talking. But no, but that's the whole point of this, because me and JB, believe it or not, we do this a lot of the time. Whenever he's away working, we just talk, don't we, at night, and we'll sit here. I'll be doing my ants or something, cleaning my ants out, doing something, and we'll just be talking about what's going on in our anting world. And then somebody suggested that we should do that for these videos, and this is why this has been born of it.
Yeah. To answer a question from Stein, which he's actually put in the Discord, which I've just seen, the development of my sweet stuff, it is actually fully developed. It's been tested, it's been lab tested, it's been tested on various colonies. I've sent out samples to people to try with their colonies. So far, everything that's come back has been pretty positive. Some people have struggled with the fact that it is a real concentrate, as in it has not been diluted with any water. The amount of water that's in it is absolutely minimal, which gives a 12 months shelf life. But it does mean that you have to dilute it with water. I always personally suggest warm water, just because it helps sort of mix it a little bit better. But yeah, it's ready, it's in development. I'm just waiting, because obviously my manufacturer of the product is out in Europe, so there's issues with bringing it over because of Brexit, and I'm trying to figure out where we are on me being able to buy the orders in, and sort of, you know, what I'll face from having to pay any extra. And then I did have my labels on the go. The first batch of labels from the company I used, sadly to say, they're just not, they're no good. So I'm now speaking with another company to get some better labels developed, and my graphic designer, who I did see a comment in the chat asking, you know, how did I get my logo done. I use a graphic designer. If you go onto my blog site, which is thecolonialist.co.uk, you'll see that I often sort of promote his work. His name's Audi Cisanto. So if you look on Instagram, you should be able to find him on there. And he does some really, really nice vector work. So definitely worth checking him out. And he's not terribly expensive either, but he's 110% professional. And I've never had any issues with the services that he's delivered.
Well, he made my one.
Yep.
He did mine.
Made yours, made mine. He's in the middle of making our new Antcast logo, which should be quite exciting.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you ain't going to see my mugs on that one. Just going to be my logo face. So I'm a super secret stealthy. I'm like a ninja. Like, if you see my face, I have to kill your job.
How do I drag someone in?
Oh, I have no idea.
How do I not? I've given him permission to be in here. I don't know if he's still trying to join or not.
Yeah, I imagine he is. Just like I said, just unlock it and then come. Oh, he's here because he's typing, so he's still there. It's cool.
I've invited him into the...
What is going on? What else is going on in my Ant world? I must admit, I am kind of taken aback slightly by how quickly the Mesa Barbarous have grown. Because I've only done one video of them so far, but when I do another one, you'll see the progress they've made. They're just kind of exploding in numbers. They're doing really, really well. Really, really well, in fact. And I want to go have a look at them now, but I can't because my cord's not long enough for my headphones to my PC.
You're all old. We are old. Late
Yeah.
30s, yeah. We was alive before the internet, so you know that
It's
says a
true.
lot.
Yeah, it's true. And it's my birthday this month actually. It's towards. Funny enough, my birthday's on the 24th, and then my channel first video got uploaded on the 26th. So it's like my channel's a year old on the 26th of June. I was kind of hoping to get to 500 by that point subs, but I don't think I'm going to make it now, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to get enough subs in time, which doesn't really matter because it's not all about the subs, but it would have been nice if I could get it for my first year. But yeah, so it's a big milestone. I'm not doing any giveaways or anything like that, to be honest, because I'm going to be on holiday for that week, so I'll probably miss my year anniversary video, but not to worry. Not to worry. But yeah.
Try to join now as I've just synced permissions. I don't know if that does anything.
You've unlocked the chat, mate, so you can just join now, can't you?
I don't know. I've tried to.
Wait, it's unlocked. There's no lock next to it.
Yeah, no. I've done everything to try and allow him to hop in.
Come on, Ants Britannia, you can do it. We will get him on, guys. He will talk rubbish with us for a bit, and you can see how much rubbish we do talk. We all talk. Well, join then. Don't just type it's not long. Join. Oh, I do.
Why do some ants have the silk gland during the larval stage, and some lack? It's actually the difference between how they pupae. So you have skeletal pupaes. Obviously, they won't have the silk gland because they've just evolved not to need it anymore. They have a hard enough casing to protect them. And the ones that are in pupae, they have a silk gland because without that silk gland, they would never be able to weave their pupae. And that's how they cocoon themselves. As to what caused them to evolve that way or that method, I don't know. It could be because ants have actually evolved from two different species of wasp. So it could be the difference in the species of wasps, or it could just be obviously because they didn't need a silk pupae anymore, they just evolved to not need that gland.
I don't understand why I can't get in it.
It's completely open now. There should be nothing stopping him. He's got full permissions. The only thing possibly is try leave Discord and hop back in. I don't know. I've turned off the private channel.
Yeah, don't worry about it. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't end it day. Why do some of ants have a very small gaster like Mamaca, but some like Lages have huge gasters? I wouldn't say Lages have huge ones, to be fair, but no, I get the point. Some do have big ones, some don't. You're the geek. You can answer that better than me.
What was that one again? Sorry.
That was about the.
Hello.
Hello. There we go. And we got the pro ant
hold on,
keeper in
sorry.
as well.
Good to see. It's good to hear from you, Ants Britannia.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello,
buddy.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Sorry, let me just turn you guys up. Sorry. There you go.
That's alright. No
How
worries.
we doing?
You just did what my wife does and just turns the volume down on me, so she doesn't have to listen to me.
No, she's got selective hearing.
Yeah, just like most women, I think. just hear what they want to hear. What? I can go buy new handbag? No, I didn't say that. Thank you. I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Oh, that's a bit stereotypical, isn't it?
It is. Feel free to hop on the mic, Pro Ant Keeper. You're welcome to join us and talk.
Talk rubbish for a bit. Ask any questions. Tell us about your ants, for example. We're all easy.
So how's things been your end, Britannia? What have you been up to? Fill us in.
Oh man. Well, firstly, it's nice to talk to you guys. I guess I don't really do many live streams or I don't really chat to anyone on here either.
Well,
No, I've
that
not
something
really.
can be remedied though, can't it?
Yeah, yeah. I should do it more. I'm terrible for not doing it, to be honest.
Well, I always wanted to do lives. I just never knew how to. So, like a good YouTuber, I was personally waiting to get to 1,000 subs to where I can use my phone. And the whole thing about that was I used to watch this young ant keeper out in Australia, and he did lives on Instagram. And of course, what he goes and finds out there is completely mind blowing to what we find. I mean, he was finding jumping jacks, bull ants, just amazing species. Whereas, like, if I always wanted to do the same, but of course it would be like, look at this wonderful formica, look at this wonderful myrmica. But that was always my plan anyway. And then sort of, getting to team up with Formicast, and Durka showed me sort of what apps I needed to use, and then the rest of it has just been stumbling in the dark. But it is nice to be able to go live. Certainly something I always wanted to do on the channel. So once I get to perfect it, and then I'm as professional as like Aesthetic Ants or Ants Holifer with their live shows, then I'll be satisfied that I can do them properly.
I like watching it. To be fair, I always have it pop up that like you guys are doing your lives, and it's always nice. It's always nice to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I never expected to get into it. I mean, I literally just started doing videos just because I wanted to talk about ants, and this was my outlet because I don't really talk about it at work. So I've got quite a masculine work where everybody's interested in ants, and it's kind of progressed for me to everything we do now, such as the live podcasts, stuff like this. But this is great. I mean, the community. What's really good about all this as well, it really brings the community together.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Together. Yeah, we're bringing YouTubers together, and all sorts. It's really, really good tool for it.
Yeah, I mean, like when I started my channel, one of the things that I started to do was trying to like gather content creators. And at first it was kind of like, who are you, get lost. It was kind of like brick wall after brick wall. But then
I hope you didn't ask me that, and I'm the one who told you to get lost.
no, because I don't think we'd actually spoken much.
I would never
then.
say that.
It was only towards the it was only from the former cast really that we started getting the chance to speak to each other, I believe.
What, me and you?
Yeah,
man.
We never spoke, mate.
No, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, bud.
But I always think, because like obviously we have these socially dependent creatures, that we care for these creatures that are based on social coexistence. I always think it's a shame that on the content creator side of it, or at least how it used to feel more, is everyone was kind of like, no, I got to focus on my thing, I need to get this out, I can't work with you on anything because it's just this. Whereas like more people now, I believe, they see the benefits of working with each other, and how you can share content, and how you can create kind of like what an ant colony creates. Working together you can create so much more than you can on your own, and that's always been my belief. And as I say, like getting to work with people and getting to meet with people and talk on shows like this, it's been such an amazing experience for me. It's made what this hobby is for me, really, because it's such a large part of it now. And getting to meet all these people and find out how they do things, and ideas that they have, and talking about their colonies and the species that they keep, I think it just enriches the community. It just brings so much for everyone. And
you can bounce ideas off each other as well.
Yeah.
Things.
Well, look at the experiments that are rolling out now. That's because, like, conglomerately, we've been in chats talking to each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and there's essentially like a year's worth of content to be created out of just an idea, where we've all come together and said, let's start doing this, and then other projects bounce off that, and then the podcast has been created, and it's exciting. It is exciting. Every new step, every new person we meet, every person that joins the group, or becomes part of this sort of little community that we're building, I think it just brings so much more for everyone.
I can agree, man. Definitely. I mean, when I like first started, it it was completely different, like to what it is now. To be honest, because there's a lot more people now, it's a lot nicer. It's nicer to have more people to talk to about it. Uh, like when I first started, it wasn't massively popular. It was just starting out. Obviously with Ants Canada, he'd been going a couple years before before I started, and even then it still wasn't a very big thing. I could only remember back to there being, oh man, probably a maximum of 10, 20 ant YouTubers.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
wasn't
when I
anything
started my
crazy.
channel, it was because I couldn't find enough content to watch. Obviously, Ants
Yeah,
Australia goes dark for months on end, and you're just like begging him to bring out another video. Ants Canada, I will always say his channel has merit, but I can't follow the direction that he's gone in. It's just not for
yeah.
me.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's not about the ant keeping anymore. It's not about the community. It's just the next biggest drama, the next horrible thing he can have attached to his ants. And I respect what he does for the community, and how much he brings in and everything like that. But I just think it's sad because I almost think that there is a correlation between his 1,000 nymph massacre and the live feeding that started to spiral out of control on TikTok and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Hashtag we don't approve. But but
You know the hashtag.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't approve. I haven't like announced anything yet, or I haven't said anything in terms of that movement or hashtag, but I can say that I do totally agree, and
Yeah.
for that reason, I'll mention it at some point. But in one of my previous videos, I'm not going to be shy about it. I did feed my ants a live beetle grub. I don't know if you ever remember the video where I made it like ants versus beetle grub, and I'm not ashamed to say that I look back with shame on that video, and I actually took it down because because I don't agree with it at all when I look back.
I mean, the thing is, I do agree with ethical live feeding. Now, what ethical live feeding to me is, a species that ants can dispatch in seconds.
Totally.
That
That definitely. And some ants rely on live feeding. Some of them do not eat ants. Some of them do not eat insects which are being killed.
Ants Hood has the Asian raider ants, and they won't react to anything that's dead. So they do need something live. But for me, the hashtag we don't approve is more aimed at stuff like the scorpion. I'm bringing out my episode this week is my hashtag we don't approve episode, gearing up for the 19th and 20th when we're doing the crossover episode. So you really should join us for that, because it would be great to see you on there as well.
What was that? Sorry, mate. You cut out there for me. What was it you said?
On the 19th and the 20th, we're doing the hashtag we don't approve special with former cast. So it'll be good to get you on that as well. This weekend, I'm releasing my hashtag we don't approve episode, and on there you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not massively into naming and shaming. When I saw it, I put a post up about it saying, is this going too far? Is this, but to see a small desert scorpion being fed to a colony of Fidole was just horrific. And there's another video going around where someone's fed a hamster to a Solenopsis colony, and it's alive and it's screaming. Yeah, oh man, it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely horrific. Now, I'm not gonna scream and cry over a grub or a fruit fly or a bean weevil or whatever being taken out, because mealworms, sometimes you think they're dead and then suddenly they start freaking out because they were just unconscious, or they've come back around and the ants are all over them. That does happen, but it's not as horrific as putting in an animal that would never ever be killed by these ants, that would run away in the wild, and then basically watch them try to survive an unsurvivable event where they have no escape. They're not going to die quickly. I think that's where you have to question your morals. That's where you have to question what kind of person am I and what kind of message am I wanting to send and portray about the hobby that I love. Because do you want people to say, oh, I'm going to have an ant colony so I can feed it a scorpion? Of course not. You want people to say, I'm going to have an ant colony because I love and appreciate ants. Because I want to try and get into a hobby that, as Aesthetic Ant said on his, has a beautiful side to it. Of course, there are some brutal elements to ants in general. They have some, if you look at Polyacus dives with, how they're like, they live in a gladiator kind of dictatorial system. They would kill each other over small disputes, and that's just part of their nature. But to then add something into that, like, if I was to throw a rat in there and let them kill the rat, that's not right. And that's where I think the hashtag we don't approve, I think that's where it comes in. Because instead of creating massive drama online, instead of like, you don't need to hate these content creators, because most of them are just young kids. Most of them are quite young. They might not be looking at it with the same head on their shoulders as someone who's our age, or from our moral standpoint, they're probably getting all the views, their channel's flying, there's a rush in that, and I understand it, and they're trying to replicate that rush. And humans do like bloodlust. If we didn't, the Romans never would have had, their whole system of the gladiators. We enjoy seeing that, but that doesn't make it right.
I always like Wolf.
Yeah.
Wolf, the gladiator Wolf, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what's
I've met
funny? Oh, go on. Sorry.
I was just saying I met him, but carry on.
Wait, I'm just not like being invasive or whatever. But how old are you guys? I'm 24.
I'm 34.
Okay.
38 this month.
Okay. I was just checking because my dad went on Gladiators, and he went up against Wolf, and during that time in the audience, I was just like a baby. I was like 1 year old.
Wow. I've actually been to the Gladiators thing. I had the old glove on. We will rock you. That was awesome. That was awesome. No, but I actually met Wolf later on in his life, so he wasn't a gladiator at the time, but he was at some kind of event that I was at. So
gladiator. Okay. Are you ready? Sorry.
You were just talking about the we don't approve and like obviously what kids are making now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that filters down. Like I'm not pointing any fingers or whatever, but I think with Ants Canada, he does make those types of videos which that they think they can do as well. Obviously,
that's what I mean. His direction now, I believe, causes as much damage as it.
What I think he should do is, I mean, like I don't know, like if he'll, what he should do is perhaps put a disclaimer, in the video, and just literally it only has to be like 5-10 seconds long, saying
the thing is,
telling people that what
he's
they shouldn't do.
Ants Canada is a very intelligent guy. Mikey he's an intelligent guy. He, even on the thumbnail when he fed those cockroaches to the Solenopsis colony, even he said, is this too far? Like, do you know what I mean? It says on the thumbnail, like, is this I can't remember what it said, but it's like it questions the morals of doing it, and that's on the thumbnail. So he knew that he had already gone a step too far. But again, he's stuck in that lust for views, for subs, for him, he's gone past that point of wanting to grow organically. Now he's looking for the next viral rush, and that's constantly what it is. Like feeding my ants snot, here's billions of cockroaches being massacred, here's my ants with some horrible mites attached to their face, but I'm going to try and pretend like they could be living in harmony. No, that's clearly a parasitic relationship, and those mites are doing those ants damage, and it doesn't take much to work that out. So please don't put that spin on it. But he still puts that spin on it. He puts the, if I play dumb, or if I act like I wasn't sure, then no one's going to hate me because I wasn't sure it wasn't okay, and I'll just apologize afterwards. Rather than going, I know this is wrong. I know that this is just for views. I know that this is just for subs, and doing it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that is about Ants Canada it's always controversial.
He's done some great experiments. I mean, like, you know, look at the jelly pot experiment. Which flavor do they like better? That's great. You know, what was wrong with that experiment? Nothing. Fantastic, great content. You know, put out stuff like that. It doesn't need to be shock factor all the time. It doesn't need to be drama all the time. It doesn't need to be the next horrific thing that you can find. You know, he needs to go back in line and sort of, you know, find his integrity again, is what I think. And that's why I think it's sad that he's kind of lost communication with the community, because, you know, he has his followers on the channel, but he necessarily, I feel like he doesn't know how the community feel about what he does. And these are the people that technically have been with his channel from the beginning. These are his true fans. These are what he represents. So surely he should be listening to them more than, you know, the people who are just interested in the drama and, you know, subbing to him because he's feeding his ants snot, or he's killing a million cockroaches, or, you know, whatever drama he wants to film next. You know, he can make some amazing content and some beautiful stories, you know, so why ruin it with stuff like that is kind of my ethos on it.
Yeah, well, I think everyone's got similar. For anyone, you see, the thing is that he does have merit because he does get a lot of people into the hobby, because he got me into the hobby, to be fair. So he does get people into the hobby, but I think once people get that education into the hobby and know what they're doing, and they kind of realise that Ant Canada videos aren't that great, and I think that's why he's got such a fan base as well, because it's the inexperienced maybe, or the less knowledgeable, that think everything he does is awesome, which then again it isn't the case per se. I mean, I don't like people that lack integrity, and his blatant lying about why he got rid of his colonies ripped my short and curlies.
Yeah, that was the end for me. That whole scenario there where I don't have the food for my colonies, but yet you've shown us over your years of ant keeping that you don't need, you could feed your ants, yeah, a selection of vegetables and meat that you have in your house. If you can't get feeder food, you can substitute your ants diet, yeah. And he even said, guys, I'm not doing it because these are large natural setups that are very difficult to maintain. But the reason he threw that in, I feel, is because that was the guilt, saying this is really why I'm doing it. I have to maintain these on my own. The guy that I pay, who comes in and does this for me, can't do it for me because of COVID. I have to do this myself, and I don't want to. Because the very next episode almost was, hey guys, look at my billion cockroaches. I thought you didn't have any food. No, in fact, the next one was, look at my flourishing colony of cockroaches that I've had to put into one of the setups that I emptied out because of how big they are. And the one after that was, guys, look, I've had 1 billion cockroaches delivered to me, and I'm just going to waste the entire billion of them into the tanks of Solenopsis and film them being massacred. So if you didn't have the food and you couldn't get the food, then how come that happened? I mean, over COVID, you know, I was substituting, and it wasn't that I could just click on eBay and have stuff delivered still, but I didn't know when it was coming. So I just went to the shop, I bought a bag of frozen prawns, you know, I put the prawns into warm water to let them defrost, and I was feeding those to my ants. And that cost £2.99, and there was about 4 months worth of food in one bag of prawns for the protein. And sugars, all you have to do is what I've bought now, which is a bulk load of sugar cubes, and you're sorted. They don't have a very complex diet. You can substitute their diet with so many things. So to say it was the diet, that to me was just a blatant lie. And the fact that he had to throw in the thing that he was trying to cover up, that says that I was right. That I believe that because he only got rid of the large naturalistic setups, and they're hard to maintain. I don't do naturalistic setups because the time that I spend away from home, my missus wouldn't be able to keep up with the maintenance of those setups, and it would be unfair to be away and to have live plants growing in a setup that could cause my ants to escape, as with Ants Canada. That's how he lost his Polyacus dives colony, because the plants grew to the top and they simply just walked on out.
Have you got off your high horse now?
Yep.
Do we change the subject?
Just whenever, mate. This is like not scripted. We're just sitting here chatting, just blokes chatting. Well, blokes, because you might identify as a goldfish. So, but people just chatting about ants and stuff, and just any conversation, mate. It's all good.
Yeah, it's the organic chat show is what we sort of came up with. Two blokes talking ants. So.
Yeah, but not
it's got a nice little ring to it. That has.
It does.
Two guys, one cup.
It's not as bad as two squaddies, one cup. That's the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life.
But this is a kid show, so let's not talk about it
we
too
won't.
much.
Is this R-rated?
No.
18 plus, definitely.
PG, please.
So what's your next content that you've got planned? Have you got any episodes coming out, Ants Britannia?
Yeah, well, man, I'm editing 2 videos at the moment. By the way, you can call me Cameron or Cam.
Sweet.
You don't have to call me Ants Britannia every time. It's all good, mate.
Just call me Hood.
Hood, yeah.
Yeah, I don't use my real name because of the nature of my work.
Yeah, I use my middle name, so just JB.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Yeah. What was I saying? Videos. Yeah. So I've tested and I've reviewed an ant boy nest.
Nice.
The small smart nest.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm doing a review on them as well.
It's it's really good. It's really epic.
It is.
I'm still editing it. It's just hard at the moment because like obviously lockdown is easing a bit more here in like the UK. I've got to go back to work a bit more, and it's getting in the way a little bit of editing. And the only real time I can do it is at the weekend, and even then I've got to spend time with the missus. So
yeah, I mean that's what's happening to me at the moment. I mean,
it's a pain in
this
the
job's
ass.
coming to an end, so my life's going to become absolute chaos. But it's already been difficult enough to try and schedule the editing and the commitments for the channel and stuff around the 2 weeks on, the 2 weeks off.
Yeah, man.
Obviously 2 kids under 2, teething terrible twos. My daughter's been diagnosed with autism,
wow.
So it's kind of it's a lot at home. Like at home is just as much chaos as at work, but when I'm at work I can't film the ants. When I'm at home I can film the ants, but I can never find the time to do the audio recording because it has to be done late at night when the kids are in bed. So like I try to do all the filming while I'm at home and then all the editing when I'm at work, but then there's just always so much going on. It's really difficult to find that. And
it is crazy how much editing actually goes into
videos.
A
10-minute clip can be like hours upon hours of editing. That's what I've realized.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was making sort of like under 5-minute clips, I could film and edit those in a day or 2 days. But doing the 10 minutes and sort of trying to get the right shots, and the other thing is as well is when you're filming certain things, like obviously I'm doing like you are the review on the smart nest, and I'm moving a colony into the nest, but I have to wait for the ants. If the ants don't play ball, then I'm away for 2 weeks, and then I have to come back, and then I've missed all the action that's been going on in the 2 weeks. So it's like trying to schedule all of that, because I've got a couple of nest reviews I'm doing at the moment. I've got the Antopia twin series, which I really like that nest, and the Antboy UK smart nest, which is I love the way that the bit in it records all the data. That's really nice, and being able to hook that up to Wi-Fi as well.
I haven't. Yeah, I need to sort that out on my phone and kind of link it a little bit more and have a bit more of a play around.
Yeah, well,
I kind of feel like and done the first part. I need to just do the second part as well.
that's where I'm at with it, to be honest. Like I've done all the first bit of the footage, the initial unboxing, you know, having a look at the Nest. I've finally found my spare phone, so I've got that all charged up. So then I can record with my other phone, and and show people sort of how it all hooks up and what you have to do and scan in the QR code and stuff like that. So, you know, there's still quite a bit more to actually film and get the edit out, but you know, hopefully I'll do him justice, because it's actually a pretty cool Nest.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with it. Got another video on the horizon, which is I don't know if you guys watched it, but recently I attempted to feed my ants a fish, and it didn't go to plan because the fish was just massive. I basically went to the fishmonger and went in there, and I was like, "What's the smallest fish you've got?" He didn't ask what it was for. I just wanted one tiny fish, and
You'd be better off going to a pet shop and seeing if they've got any that have recently passed away,
that's
like
true actually.
Or something.
But yeah, it's just the guy was like, "You can buy one of these," which is what I used in the video. I have no idea what fish it was, or you can buy 100 whitebait, and I was like, "Oh my god, what am I going to do with 100 fish?"
Well, the thing is, you feed a little bit to the ants, and
good.
then you cook the whitebait for dinner.
Yeah, I'll have 99 to myself and 1 for the ants. But yeah, for this this other video, I've got a friend who keeps loads of spiders, hundreds of them, and I did say to him, he keeps like everything, orb weavers, tarantulas. I said to him, if one ever like dies of natural causes, can I have it? Can I have it and feed it to my ants?
Yeah.
And yes, a few days ago he told me his tarantula died, and he gave it to me, and it died of natural causes, and I popped it in the fridge, and then I set everything up, and then I time lapsed it, and my ants just ripped that tarantula apart. It was crazy.
That's going to be exciting to watch. I like stuff like that, to be honest, because it's quite interesting to see.
I would never ever feed it obviously live. That would be so cruel. But I was actually waiting for him to tell me, waiting for him to tell me that he had one that passed away. It's not like the big. When I say tarantula, it's not massive. It's like
not
2
not all of
inches.
them are. Some of them are quite small, to be honest. So
yeah, it's not all about size. Yeah.
Well, actually, isn't it the smaller they are, the more deadly their venom is usually? So
I think so. I'm not too sure, but it's hopefully it'll make for a good video.
It will do. If you could get a good time lapse of them dismantling it as well, it'd be awesome.
Oh mate, when it's sped up, it looks like they're so aggressive, like they're ripping it apart and everything. But obviously, it's filmed over 24 hours, and then just slowly tugged away at the limbs.
It is amazing how different it looks in a time lapse compared to in reality. Like I've got a time lapse of the Solenopsis. It's literally just the mealworms, but you know the way the mealworms twitch.
Yeah.
Like, because it's been sped up, it almost looks like it's a live feed. But the reality is like they're just dragging it around, and every now and then it will kind of just spasm. But because it's hyperlapsed, it looks like that it's happening in seconds, not in, the amount of time that it's actually taking for it to twitch, because it's just the nervous system. So I was like, I probably won't put that up, but you can see them all sort of squiggling around, but it's over hours of them sort of like dragging it around.
Is that what is that what you're using? Hyperlapse?
Yeah, because I use everything I do is done from my Samsung S10. So filming, recording.
You should get an app. You can give it a go. You should get an app called Snap Pro. And basically, instead of it filming like a video time lapse, it will take a picture like every 3 seconds and you can record such long time lapses because it uses less disk space on your phone. And it actually, when you export it as a video, it kind of mushes it all together and it creates a really nice, clean time lapse. Just putting it out there if you wanted to try it.
Yeah, I definitely will. I mean, that's brilliant. I'm always looking for tips, to be honest. One of my biggest things is, I really want to get my channel to the point where I can record professional footage. But as everyone knows, that's thousands of pounds worth of investments once you've got the right kind of lighting, the right camera, the right lens. So I am getting there. It will take a while, but it's always good to find ways to sort of improve the content using what I have now. So I'll definitely check that out.
Honestly, all phones today, or these new phones that are coming out, they've got 4K cameras, and
I know they're incredible.
And you can get attachments now where you can plug your microphone. You can get a professional microphone and plug it in. You can get a Lightning to USB converter cable, pop it into your phone, and then USB your mic into your phone, and then you can record really good audio quality whilst using your phone.
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't work for me.
Oh, what?
Yeah, but he has a Scud phone, so.
A what?
iPhone.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Oh, Scud phones. No, I just find them too restricted for me. The only reason I stick with Android is because I don't have to use iTunes to put stuff on it. Freedom of use, really, and you have a lot more available to you, sort of apps and download wise. But their camera quality is amazing on most of them. But
yeah, I don't disagree with that. I've heard good things about the cameras on Samsung and Androids. What's that other phone? The Hawaii?
Do you know they say it's really
phone.
good, yeah, but it's actually using the camera from 3 generations ago on the Samsung, because my missus got the Huawei, and she also had the Samsung S10, and I would say that the camera and the quality on the Huawei is basically the same as what was on the Samsung S8.
You know, it got so much hype.
Spy phone.
It's just clever marketing. I mean, they weren't lying. It was literally, they were using generational stuff, and the problem is they have good cameras, they have really bad sensors, and if you know about cameras, then capturing quality, light and color, the only thing that matters is that you have a really, really good sensor, because the sensor is the thing that takes all that in. And if you have a really bad sensor, it doesn't matter how good your cameras are. Your cameras could be amazing, but they won't ever capture that quality because the sensor's not taking the light in.
Yeah.
Bloody crickets are pains in the asses.
What do you do? What do you use to record with? Are you using a DSLR or?
I've got a. Do you know what's funny? I've got a Canon camera, and I've got the different lenses, obviously for macro and just for standard footage. But lately, when I record myself, I've just been using my phone because my Canon doesn't record in 4K, but my phone does. And it's got a wide angle lens built into it now as well. So
nice.
It's nice using a mixture, and it's more convenient as well to use my phone, which is good. Because like I said before, you could put your mic into it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got those attachments from my phone. I've got the 3.5mm jack splitter, so I can put in, I can have one of the little mics attached to me. I can't remember what they're called, and then I can have sort of the headphones plugged in as well if I want to, which sort of improves stuff. I've seen that it's kind of like the Gorilla Pod, the tripod for the phones, but now it comes with one side has your mic and boom on it, and the other side has, I think, a light on it for brighter light and stuff. So I mean, that's quite cool. There's definitely a lot you can utilize with phones nowadays. I mean, they really are so powerful. I remember just playing, everyone getting hyped because you had Snake on your old Nokia, but now it's just absolutely incredible what phones can achieve.
They've got good stabilization as well. If you find that if you're recording and walking around with your phone, you watch it back, it's very smooth now.
They're using the same sort of technology that GoPro are utilizing.
I just dropped a cricket.
Do not tell the wife. I can't find it. It's gone.
You will find it when it starts chirping. Chirp, 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 chirp.
Oh my word! What have I done? I'm gonna get in trouble for that.
That's happened to me before.
I used, before I started keeping ants, I used to breed reptiles, and that is where I learnt my lesson of do not ever go near crickets. They are horrific. They've eaten holes into my bearded dragons before. I had crickets kill one of my young corn snakes when I was like, I thought that a baby corn snake would have had it. Nope, the cricket killed my snake. So you
No
have to
way.
be, yeah, no, seriously, the cricket just tackled it down and was just like, yeah, no, you're dead. And I came
Wow.
back in to find the snake sort of like curled up with the cricket eating through its eyeball. So I was like, oh, absolute nightmare. They're horrific. And if they do escape, they find the most annoying place they can is close to where you're sleeping to chirp at 1,000 decibels. And they will chirp to the point where you go insane. I mean, I took a barbecue skewer once. I jumped up, it was about 3 a.m, and I was there like literally stabbing behind the bed trying to find this thing to skewer it to death, because I was absolutely losing the plot of 3 nights of no sleep because of this chirping thing. So yeah, stick to locusts. Locusts are so much easier, so much nicer.
I put it on my story earlier. I mixed. I have like a feeder tub of like mealworms,
Yeah,
and I bought waxworms because my Fanagaster like waxworms a bit more. So I thought, you know what, I'll just put them together, put some oats in there, some live feeder food or whatever,
did the mealworms
and
eat
then
'em?
yeah, no, I come back a few days later. Where are my waxworms gone?
Yeah, no, mealworms are horrendous. They'll actually, when you pass away and you're buried, they're actually the first insect to manage to get to your body,
Oh,
because they will
Don't
chew.
say that.
They will chew their way through the coffin, and they're the first ones to start breaking down your body. So yeah, no, it's a random fact I found out, but hey.
Wow, they are savage.
We have a question from Gooseberry Leaf, and yes, he's asked, are there any ants that wouldn't take dead protein sources? And as mentioned, Ants Hood has these Asian raiders. Pretty much, they're not scavengers. There are species out there that are not scavengers. If you look at Dorylus or any of the raiders or army ants, they are specialized in taking down live prey. And because they're roving species, so often the queen is exposed, their brood is exposed, so they have a lot more aggression to them. The Asian raider ants, from what I read, will actually hunt anything up to a small bird, and it only takes 4 stings to kill a bird the size of a robin. So it's quite incredible when you look at a species like that, because they have evolved to take down large prey. But as sort of aesthetic ants said, if you have a species like that, just try not to glorify the live feeding, or at least don't do what other people have done and throw a scorpion and see what happens. I won't name any names on that one. I'm not naming names when I do my video, but it is available on TikTok to be found. So
God,
I think
where does
everybody knows
someone
what you're
get
talking
scorpion?
about. I've seen that same person chasing after a cockroach so he could stick it in live as well.
yeah. I mean,
It's just
there's
like-
lots of stuff. There's a couple of content creators. I find it's more, and I'm not bashing on it because I understand the culture. I used to live over there, so I understand. But it is more American keepers. But there is a different culture. There's a different attitude. There's a different belief out there. So it's kind of like, it's hard to say stop it when they glorify it, or they don't see any wrong in it, because many will say it's their God-given right. So it's hard to sort of argue with that and talk sense, and sort of change their views, because it is a harder way of life out there, and they are still sort of, I don't know, behind us in that kind of thinking, I would say.
That's a lot of brood there. Brood. Sorry, while we're talking, I am actually doing ant maintenance.
I kind of assumed. You usually do. I mean, we're trying to do a podcast, and then all you can hear is him tinkering about with the ants in the background. It's like, dude, we're recording.
Yeah, I know, but we're just chatting, aren't we? It's not like a formatted thing. I'm just like, this is what I do.
If I change my nickname on here, does it change it on everything, or is it just this server?
I believe it will change it on
everything.
everything. I'm not sure.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just keep it like this. I really don't know how to use this.
No, me either. I'm new to Discord and to Streamlabs and all of these kind of fancy things. So I do try to make an effort to be on Discord, but it'll get to like 2-3 days in, and I'll be like, oh, I haven't said hello to anyone on Discord. I better say hi, because like you'll find me mainly on Facebook and Instagram. That's where my main sort of
Loiters are.
yeah.
Do you ever find that when you're on all these platforms, do you ever find that you're spreading yourself thin? Like you find it hard to interact with every, because obviously there's going to be people which are just only on Discord or on your YouTube, and they won't be on Instagram or Facebook, and they'll feel like they're missing out. And
I do get that. I mean, a lot of the time I'll be having conversations with people, and the worst thing is as well is I'll be trying to remember where I had those conversations. So it's like I might have been talking to someone like really intensely on Discord, and we're having a great conversation, and then I'm distracted by people talking to me on Instagram, and then I'll spend the next couple of days in those communities, and then I'll come back and there'll be like half a conversation where it's like, hey, are you still there? What's going on? And it's like, oh, so sorry, man. Do you know what? I've been absolutely just distracted elsewhere. I mean, I think for us, because of our generation was before the technology boom, I mean, we witnessed it, really. So our mindset isn't the same. I mean, most people that you speak to of our generation, if they wanted to speak to their friends when they was a kid, you had to risk knocking on the door or ringing the house phone. And usually it was, no, they're having dinner, sod off. Like, do you know what I mean? Or something like that. Whereas, like, nowadays, kids don't stop communicating with each other. Whether they're at school, whether they're at home, they've got this technology that connects them. And for them, it's in the forefront of their mind. Like, they're able to just navigate through that, and it's perfectly fine. I think for us, we're slightly disadvantaged because we just never grew up with that kind of, keeping on top of all those different sort of communication routes, whereas it was kind of like a simpler time. If you didn't have a house phone or no one answered the door, you weren't talking to anyone.
Yeah, knocking on your mate's house. Is JB coming out to play? No, it's not. It's been a naughty boy and he's grounded.
Yeah, or he's having dinner. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And how did you find out where all the local kids were? Just look for the 20 bikes that have been dumped on top of each other.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that for me, like a little bit. Obviously, I've made it so different now. But when I was a kid, I actually grew up in Germany, and
Nine.
what's that? Yeah,
Nine.
no. I was on a British army camp. My dad was in the army.
Okay.
And
Paderborn.
And it was like everyone knew everyone, and you'd never. They had like Sony Ericssons and stuff, but
yeah.
there was no like, I don't know, constant socializing through text or whatever. It would be you were safe to go out, like, because it was all enclosed. And do you know what the funny thing was is when I lived in Germany for like 8 years, I think, and when I come to England, it was year 5, and I basically went to school, and I met all these English kids, and they were like, "Oh, where have you come from?" I went, "Oh, a camp in Germany." And they were just looking at me like, and I hadn't learnt about obviously that stuff or whatever, and they were just like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yeah," but yeah.
Mob life is a special kind of life. There's, especially for army brats, man, where you have to travel around and do stuff like that. I mean, I only did training out in Germany. So like when we went out, we were stationed at Paderborn for a couple of months while we were doing convoy drills. So they like to go and do convoy stuff out there.
Good night out that, by the way, Paderborn.
Yeah. You got the brass houses right across the road, so. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
I never used them just because every squaddy I was concerned. No, this is a simple fact. I never used them because as far as I was concerned, every squaddy, right, was just spreading some nastiness. Yeah, the army taught me to have a fear of STDs. Like that is for definite sure because
Oh my
so
God.
many guys would be coming back going, no, it's falling off. Nope, it's gone black. I've got bubbles turning up on it, and I was just like, this is why I don't play around with you guys. I kept myself to myself. So
What like regiment, or I don't even know what you'd call it. Like my dad, for example, was in the Royal Artillery.
yeah.
Like what?
I was in the rifles.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just curious. That's all.
Yeah, I actually wanted to be a Fusilier. So like when I signed up, that was my goal. I wanted to be 2nd Battalion Fusiliers. I'd been 2nd Battalion Fusiliers in the Army Cadets.
Kind of suits your name then, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Considering the little guy on your picture's holding a little gun. Little
yeah. Well,
rifle.
he's a redcoat, isn't he? So it was
Yeah.
colonialism. Like that's it. It's all inspired by sort of history, Britain. You know, the fact that ants are like mini armies.
Yeah.
You know, the whole colonialist came from that, and because we look after colonies, colonialist is basically the meaning of you know, people who support colonialism, and it's kind of like, well, by supporting these colonies and growing these colonies, you are. So yeah, it's all kind of like an intelligent play of words that I kind
Be
of
careful,
put into it.
matey. People aren't going to like the fact you like colonialism. They'll be like, "Oh, you're racist."
No,
My-
it's got nothing
My
to do.
slave
It's
maker video.
got
you know,
nothing
my
to do
slave
with that.
makers. My slave makers have got 5 dislikes. That's the most dislikes any of my videos have ever had, and I bet it's because I'm technically keeping slaves.
Yeah,
That's what I
but are
reckon.
you though? But it's hard to argue with nature. Like that's a natural process. It's part
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
hobby.
You and I
Kind of,
both
you
know
know,
that.
What,
you have to do that. But go on.
Oh, sorry. No. I was just gonna ask Hood like what the reason was behind his name or what your name or.
It's his surname.
Oh right, okay, sorry.
Yeah, see, I would have gone with my surname, but then I definitely would have been branded a member of the BNP because my surname's White. So like, my entire life I've had to fight. Like people have always said, "Oh, you're racist because of your surname." I even had a kid attack me because he said to have that surname it meant that you was a slave owner. And I was like, you are clearly whacked out. Like, you are, you know what I mean? This same kid told me his mum was a slave. And it was like, nope, couldn't have been. Unless
Don't
she was in
seem-
America in God knows how long ago, which would probably make your mum the oldest person living on this planet right now. There's no possible way. Either that or she was illegally kept as a slave, not legally. So, like, you can't blame people for that. And slavery has affected everyone around the world at some point in history. Britons used to be slaves. We were slaves to the Roman Empire. We were slaves to Europe. We were slaves to the Normans when they conquered us. They also conquered Ireland as well. You know, I'm half Irish. I grew up in Ireland. And the amount of hate that they get, and it's like, nope, the Normans came from France, conquered Britain, and then they conquered Ireland. So you can say the English took Ireland, but actually it was the French. So if you want to blame anyone, it's all the French. And that's why everything that goes wrong in the world, I simply blame the French.
Let's hope there's
Anyway.
no one French watching this.
Oh, they understand. They understand. I mean, if they stop trying to screw us over, I mean, look at how many times we've saved France, and every time they stick a knife in our back. So, you know, historically, that's what's always happened. So, it's a love-hate relationship. We love them, they hate us. We accept that. And if the Germans happen to knock on your borders again, we will be there. Even if they threaten to cut off our food and start taking our fishing waters and everything else of declaration of war that they're doing lately, but we will still be there. Because we're British.
I love my slavers. They are awesome looking critters, I tell you.
They are cool.
Yeah, they are cool. Did you see my video on them?
I have not. Sad to say.
No, it's cool. Don't worry about it, matey. I'm not going to take offence to it. No, honestly, no, they're really cool.
If
really
you
cool
if you
apps.
link it to me, oh no, I'll just go on it now. What am I doing? I'm being lazy. Let me get on it. Yeah, link it to me so I can watch it. No, I'll go on there. Oh man, one thing that I regret is my my channel name, Ants Britannia.
Why?
It's because it's spelled wrong.
Yeah, it's part of what makes it unique.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend tells me, but my kind of like OCD is just like change it. But
Well, I had to add Ants to Ants and the Colonialist because no one seemed to find me, and the only people who were finding me were like history buffs searching up videos on colonialism. So I had I added the Ants in, and that definitely helped my my reach.
Definitely. But anyway, guys, I am gonna have to bid you adieu because I need to go to bed because I've got work tomorrow.
Well, fair enough. We might as well. We've been running for 94 minutes now, so
Yeah.
we might as well say goodnight and look forward to the next Two Blokes Talking Ants. Of course, there's no format; it's all organic. If you want to join in and chat, feel free to join us. And it's been absolute pleasure having you with us, Cameron. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cheers for coming along, matey.
it was lovely to talk to both of you, honestly.
Hey, and don't be stranger danger, mate. If you ever want to pop along again, you're more than welcome to. You know.
yeah, man, join the group. Become a part of us. I know you're a superstar with your 11,000 subs, but we don't judge subs. We just like
Judge
great
the
people.
character. Don't be a douche, and you'll be fine.
That's what we do.
Damn, Flabby, I'm a really big douche.
No,
Don't
yeah,
say
I
that
mean,
to
that's
Ants
the
Hood.
biggest thing.
He will compete with you, and he'll bully me
Out-douche you.
more.
Out douche you is what I'll do.
The
Yeah.
fact that
He'll outdouche
Yeah.
you by bullying me.
anytime you mention douche, I just think of sausage party, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a kid's film.
Yeah, that's not. Don't watch that.
That is one random film, mate. When I started watching it, I was like, "What the deuce?" And then obviously they all start with the fast food orgy, and it's like, "What am I watching? What am I watching?"
It's almost as bad as Captain America. Not Captain America. What's that film with the Thunderbirds puppets? It's America.
Oh, Team
Oh.
America.
Team America.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
that is
brilliant
hilarious,
film.
man.
Brilliant.
Definitely not a kids' film though.
No, definitely not. It really warped my perception of the
I've never looked at food the same way again. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
do you know what? Because I've got those. Obviously, I'm at work, so I've got to have like crap food as well. But I've got those hot dogs and the buns. So like every now and then, I just reenact a scene from that as I'm making my hot dogs.
Wow, that is wrong. So, don't play with your food. Your mum never tell you that.
There's no one to tell me anything. I'm alone in the cabin. It's how I get kicks.
Fair one, mate. Who am I to judge?
Well, it's the only way that sausage is getting into that bun.
Yeah. Wow.
This conversation is going sounds very
Deteriorating.
fast.
We should definitely end before it goes completely into another subject and we
Yeah,
start
I think
talking about.
YouTube is gonna restrict the video.
They love us. They will never catch us. It'll be fine.
It's all right. It's affiliated to your channel, mate. So I'm going to be scot free.
That's where I get a YouTube ban. No, it's been nice knowing you all. I'll see you as the Colonialist version 2 banned.
Yes, but anyway, like I said, I do need to go to bed because I do have work because I just love working weekends.
Oh well, I'm
It's been
doing
a-
my lovely 55-hour shift. So
Yes,
Congratulations.
Yes, like I said, it's been great talking to you, Ants Britannia. I do hope you join us and don't be stranger danger. Colonialist, as always, matey, I do love. Excuse me, spending time talking to you.
you love me long time.
Me love you long time.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Take
No
care,
worries.
buddy. We'll catch you soon. And thank you very much for everyone coming and joining us and chatting crap about ants and loads of other life subjects. So we'll catch you again soon.